Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. We have a special treat today. Kate Cote is here with one of her fur-loved comfort cats. Kate, we've had you on how many times through the years?
Oh, probably 6 or 7 anyway, or more than that.
And what she does is fur-loved comfort cats. She brings her kitties to various facilities to help, make people feel happy and relaxed and comforted. I think it's awesome. She's got a lot to tell. She's got Kiki with her. Tell us about Kiki.
Well, Kiki and I have a very interesting history. Kiki came to my door when he was 7 months old, and he is now 17, and he is probably the oldest working comfort cat in the world, because the Fur Love program is the only program like this in the world. In fact, I keep finding out more and more that I'm the only one that works with cats.
Yeah.
And so Kiki is probably the oldest working cat in the world. And just before I forget, just so you know, Jan, I figured it out. We've done over 2,500 one-on-one visits with people in nursing homes. That's not 2,500 nursing homes, that's 2,500
Visits, yeah.
individuals in nursing homes. Not that Kiki has done that many, but he's done quite a few over his lifetime. And so what happened was, when Kiki came to me, a lot of people got together, they donated money so he could be neutered, and I started working with him as a comfort cat. And Kiki had severe behavioral issues, really bad stuff. And so for 10 years, I just read, hundreds of dollars at the vet. The vets finally said, you got to put this cat down. They said, just put him down. And I was not willing to give up. And, of course, I read everything. And that's one of the things I would like your readers, your fans to know today, is you've got to research things for yourself when you have problems.
Definitely.
Because you can't just take somebody's word for what's going on. And so anyway, one day I was reading an article online about some famous behaviorist that was going to be speaking in Fargo, North Dakota.
Jackson Galaxy?
No,
okay.
No, even better. It was Dr. Dodman. Do you know who he is?
No.
He started the behavioral science leg at Tufts. And so I found out he had written 3 books, and I hurried up and grabbed all his books. I guess he's on Cats 101 a lot. He's pretty famous. And in one of his books, he said that in rare cases, if your animal has behavioral problems, it could be gluten in the food. So I have a friend that has a pet food distributorship, and I called her up and I said, do you have any grain-free food? And right away she gave us tons of grain-free food for him, and just like that, his behavioral problems went.
My God.
And
it's like a child, a regular human,
Right, and so, and all his bad behaviors went. And so I was so happy about that. Well, then he perforated his eardrum somehow. I got up one day and he was falling on the floor. And
Is he
Yeah, and I took him to the vet, and they said, well, for whatever reason, he has thin eardrums, and he must have been scratching at himself, and he perforated his eardrum. So then that was $1,000 to get that taken care of, and then we went on our happy way for quite a while. And in June, he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, and he broke his paw.
He broke his paw?
He broke his back paw. And not only did he break the paw, but he shattered it.
How?
He pulled something down on himself in the trailer, and it fell on his back paw. So, and of course, it's very hard to get into the vets now, for all these requirements that they have. And so, anyway, someone I knew got him into her vet hospital, and they said, he needs to have pins and all this in his paw. And I said, what's plan B?
Yeah.
I said he's 17. They also found out he has a heart murmur. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, what's plan B? And they said, well, we can splint his paw.
Yeah.
So they said, but it's going to be a good 6 weeks if it even heals. So I started him on CBD oil. And then we had all kinds of problems with the splint, and I ended up inventing something that now people use it all over the world to keep the splint dry. And
can you hold him up so we can see him?
Oh.
There we go.
Cakes.
Did it heal? Did his paw heal?
Yes, and now he's like grease lightning. I mean, if he jumped off this chair, he would jump from here to there.
And he would make it.
Yeah, and he has no limp. He's not in any pain. Kiki.
Fur Love Comfort Cat.
What are you doing, old man? And so the vet couldn't even get over it. They had him at the hospital one day, and they put him down because they wanted to see if he could hold weight on the foot.
They didn't put him down, meaning sleep. They weighed him.
They put him on the floor.
Yeah.
And they said it took the whole staff to get him back because he just started running all over the veterinary hospital.
Yeah.
And he just ran all over like a maniac. And I said to the vet, you need to take this cat for a weekend and see, how much work he is. Because, of course, now on top of everything else, he has dementia.
Yeah, she just told me he has dementia. How did that happen?
Well, it's just due to age. It's like animals get dementia just like people do. Not all of them, of course, but I have worked with other cats that have had dementia. And so it was kind of funny because one of the veterinary hospitals said, well, has he been formally diagnosed? And I said, well, he has all the dementia behaviors like people get. Mm-hmm. Like he gets the pacing where he just goes around and around in the same way. And sometimes he'll wail because he forgets where he is, like he doesn't know where he is. And it's really cute because the kittens, the younger cats, all run over and they lick his ears to calm him down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they go over, they start licking him, and just to, and then of course that calms him down. But I was watching a video the other day about a woman who had some kind of a little dog, and she let the little dog outside to do his business, and he went in a corner, and he got stuck.
Yeah.
Because he put his face. He must have been walking along the wall, and when he got to the corner, he just stopped.
Yeah.
And she was so upset because she didn't know where her little dog was, and then she came out and she found him. Now, Kiki, you gotta sit still. Kiki, what are you doing?
He wants to get up. He's 17 years young here.
I know, and he's like an old person. If he wants something, he won't stop.
How does he do when you bring him? Well, how long has it been since you were able to take your kitties? COVID kind of put a real bite on that one.
We do have some private people that we are able to visit, and he did do a visit. I don't know if it was in July, and the woman he visited just adored him. He did a really nice job, and he was very good. But as you can see, he gets these like active spurts where he's like, he doesn't, and of course he doesn't know where he is, so that kind of contributes.
You can tell that he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah. He's kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. All right, honey, you can calm down. So it was funny because when somebody, asked me if he'd been formally diagnosed, one of my friends said, well, I don't think Kiki would know who the president is anyway, because that's one of the things they ask, because I don't know if you know this, but there isn't any test that they can do for Alzheimer's or dementia or anything. The only way to actually tell that someone had it was through like what do you call it?
MRI?
No, it's like after you die, they do
autopsy.
Yeah, that's the only way they can tell if a person actually had Alzheimer's. So what they do is they ask you different things. You know, if you know, what month it is, who the president is, if you know your phone number.
Have you ever had that test? I know, what did I do? I saw a neurologist years ago or whatever. He said, well, I'm going to give you 3 things to remember. And then we're going to talk about something else, and I'm going to come back to you.
Right.
Believe it or not, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you get 2, you're lucky. It's like, I thought, okay, I got these, and what the hell was the third? Guess it's quite common.
Yeah.
But they changed the subject on purpose to see if you'll be able to come back to it.
Well, that's right, because they want to see if your short-term memory is working, because that's where it goes. And it's kind of interesting. Somebody actually wanted to get federal funding to, I know this is going to sound kind of funny, but I thought it was fascinating. They wanted to get federal funding to see the effect of having an animal with dementia visiting people with dementia and see, like, if some of the things I do with Kiki would help people that have dementia. And of course, to me, all of this stuff is kind of common sense, but initially I retired him, and I stopped his visits, and he got worse. His mind got worse. And so then I started thinking about what the symptoms are and how that works. And when you have dementia, your mind reels back. It goes backwards. And so you actually go back to, younger days, previous memories, and you forget the present. So in his case, he reeled back to when he was a kitten learning how to do comfort visits. And so once I thought of that, it made his life better. Because then he started going in the car again. And, you think about that and you think, even with us, how much better your life is if you get out of your house, you go visit and talk to people and whatever. And so, I think that would work with senior citizens too, getting them out, getting them stimulated. That's why this program is so successful, because it's so different from anything anyone else does. We actually had 3 people, and unfortunately it happened in 1 week, and it kind of blew me away. We had 3 people that recovered the ability to speak. Because of these visits. And the first woman that spoke, I had visited her for like 2 years, and she had a condition that they call word salad, where, I don't know if you've ever experienced.
I've heard of it. It comes out in different forms, the words.
Right. They think, like, in their brain, they're thinking what they want to say, but for some reason there's a disconnect between their brain and their mouth, and the words come out and they're all scrambled. And then it's like nonsense talk, And so I had visited this lady for 2 years, and I had the late Buster with me the day we visited her, and he was on her bed, and she looked at me like this, and she said, how do you keep them so calm? And I went, what did you say to me? I was so shocked. Because for 2 years she hadn't been able to speak. And she said, and she went like this, and she went, well, they're always so calm. How do you, and I burst into tears.
Did you tell the staff?
And I just lost it. I just started bawling my eyes out, And then there was another lady the same week that hadn't spoken in 8 years, and she spoke to me. And then there was a third lady who had the word salad, and she would always come out, and then every so often she'd come out with a terrible swear or whatever, and she wasn't normally like that, when she was well. And I brought Joey to visit her, and she said, oh, look at those purple eyes. And everybody, was stunned. And then she corrected herself, and she said, look at those beautiful blue eyes. she said he just takes the cake. And the staff was like bowled over.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
we never had anybody, we never had it happen again. You know, I mean, a lot of people remember us
Yeah.
and they talk to us. And
We're talking with Kate Cote, and she is the founder, active person, with Fur Love Comfort Cats. Kate, can you read this while I hold it up?
yes, you can reach me by calling my house phone, which is 508-476-3041. We have a website, which is furlovecomfortcats.com. And my email is catlady109@hotmail.com. And we're also on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. You're on Facebook too.
Yes, the cats have a page on Facebook.
They have their own page. Now, you said that a lot of places now, and we have friends that her husband is, he just hit 100 years old. Yes.
Oh.
And in their place, they get out a lot onto the lawn to visit. Now, can you take your kitties outside? Can you visit them now outside?
Yeah, we're trying to work that out with some of the facilities to get us to have us come at least outside for now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to do,
In the
when
winter.
the winter hits.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough, and it's, but I'm hoping, we did talk about this a little bit online, and so we can expand on it now. I'm hoping to have a comfort center, because then if we have our own location
Yes.
and our own building,
Yeah.
then we can control the narrative. And there would be so much more I could do with the cats if we had a comfort center. Like, you've heard of those paint and wine parties.
Oh, yeah.
We could do, like, crafting with cats. I know how to do a lot of craft
You do.
work, and I have a lot of friends that do craft work. I have a program that I'm very fond of. It's called Coloring with Cats.
Ah, see, coloring, yes.
For the little kids,
Yep.
you could get those big rolls.
Yep, they read to them in libraries.
Yep. And the kids would come in and they would be able to color.
That's a great idea. Where do you think, where does your dream goal, where do you think you might want to be? What building? Have you thought of it?
Well, there's so much that we could do. Like, I want to have, like, little shops there, a place that could have shops in it. I found a building down in Harmony, Rhode Island. It was a restaurant that has gone out of business, and it's like a huge Victorian house, and it's got like a deck,
Yeah.
and you could close that in to be like an outside, like, catio, and then it has porches all around it, and then, of course, we would live, in the building. We would
Sure.
live over.
That's a
over,
great idea.
Over the comfort center,
Yep.
and this just like this vision for the comfort center is just huge, because there are so many people that go to a shelter and they get a cat and they don't want it.
But that blows my mind. We got our huge, he's like a mountain lion. We got our cat at Bay Path, I think. And of course, you have to, they've fixed the cat and everything and given him his first shots. We're very grateful. But they also do a reference check on you. That's fine. And you do pay quite a bit.
Right.
But something, he came to us basically all done.
Right.
He was just a little thing. Now he's like,
Right.
my grandson takes one look at him and runs. He can't, he doesn't know what to make of the cat. Kate, is there any way that you could get a grant, or if you connected with different vets all over the area and have them put their thinking caps on as to a place where you might be able to go?
I know I think though we're going to need we need a backer, or we need funding for this,
Yeah,
because
a
it
grant
would be
would be
huge.
awesome. Yeah.
And there is a lot of money around, thank God, because of COVID. They're trying to help the small businesses. And, another thing that we've been doing, we've been doing grief visits with people who have lost a pet. And that's another thing. It's kind of a weird story, but I was talking to a woman. She's actually a Christian counselor, and I've known her forever. And I ran into her a few months ago, and she said, when my dog died, she said the church didn't help. Nobody helped me. You know, people were just saying, go get another animal. And here she's a Christian counselor. And I said to her, you know, she said the grief was just horrible. And I said, well, you know, we also do grief visits. And this woman had, you know, I connected with her in our town, and it was kind of a sad story, and lost her cat. And so she said, you know, I want to bring you all the cat stuff because that's it. I'm not going to have another cat. And so while she came over to bring the stuff, I brought the rag doll out, Jed, and he did a visit with her in her car. And he was just, you know, and that's another thing people don't get about these cats is that they operate independently. You know, they're not doing tricks. I don't tell them what to do. And Jed just did such a wonderful job comforting this woman. And I was thinking, you know, when somebody loses a pet, you know, what do you do?
Yeah, I was thinking about how I know my husband and I would be very affected if we lost our cats, especially the first one, the mountain lion. Because he is human. I mean, he cannot leave my husband alone. My husband goes to the bathroom, in he goes. And he cries. If he leaves the house, he cries. It's crazy. He jumps into bed, walks up to him like, I'm back, you know, and he'll bring a toy. It's like, look what I'm a big hunter now. And I just, can I hold him? Do you think he'll let me hold him? Hold on.
He may.
Oh, come on.
Take his leash.
All right, little
He's
boy.
a wiggle butt.
Oh, all right, because I don't want to end the show without holding him. Oh, my.
And he does give kisses, so you have to watch out for
Do
that.
you smell my babies? This
He
is
might
him.
kiss you
This
right
is
on the
Kiki.
mouth.
You're going to stay put?
Sit, Kiki. Sit. Good boy.
17 years young. They live a lot. They live longer than that, though, right?
Do you know who our oldest comfort cat? Just be careful with his ears. Remember, he has problems with his ears. Scratch him under the chin.
Our one likes it on his nose. He loves his nose.
Our oldest comfort cat was 26 when she did her last visit. Her name was Emily Dickinson, and sadly she got mouth cancer, and I had to put her down. Oh, that was a black day. And the vet said she would have lived forever. And you know, that's another interesting point I want to make. When I started out, we had a veterinarian and that was so in favor of the cats doing these visits. And he said to me one day, do you know, your cats are actually going to be much healthier and live longer because of all the stimulation they get and the activity that they see.
Do they go outdoors, Kate?
Only on leashes.
Yeah. They do walk on leashes.
Yeah, they all walk on leashes. In fact, I have to be kind of careful. I'll tell you a cute story. I had Yael at a friend's house a couple of weeks ago, and they have a good-sized house, and she was sitting on the couch with my friend. And I learned a number of years ago that I can't use generic words because they actually understand words. People will argue with you about that, but they do. They know what words mean. So, like, I can't use CAR because they will head for the CAR. And if they hear anybody say CAR, off they go. You know? So my car has a name. And so I said to Yael, it was time to leave my friend's house. And I said, can you show Auntie Cindy? And I said the name of my car. And I said, Cindy, hold on to her leash. So Yael got up. She ran across the parlor. She ran across their entryway. She ran across the deck, down the stairs, down the path, up the driveway, and jumped in my car. And
It's like a dog.
And my friend was running behind her, and she was laughing and laughing. And she said to me, well, she must really want to go home. And I said, no, they're proud that they know when you ask them to do something, they're proud that they can show you that they can do that. He probably would too right now if I said,
Don't say the word, he'll run.
Yeah, and we don't want that because he'll drag me down the stairs and out into the parking lot. But it's amazing working with these guys.
We've been talking with Kate Cote, and she's the founder, active person in Fur Love Comfort Cats. And what she does is she's got a lot of kitty cats who have been, like, trained to be very calm and accommodating with people going through grief, or you've got a member in your family who's in a nursing home, this type of thing. This is really cool, and I love your idea of opening up a place where people can go, because I know libraries, not just dogs, they have kitty cats who will lie there and read with their people, their children.
Right.
So one more time, Kate, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, we have a website, which is www.forlovecomfortcats.com. My email is catlady with a K 109@hotmail.com. The kitties have a Facebook page, which is For Love Comfort Cats. You can also go to my Facebook page, which is Kate Cote, or you could call us on the phone, which is 508-476-3041.
And you will come and visit families or whoever who are interested in having you come with one of the kitties. Do you get a feeling when you go to do this, which cat you want to bring along to this particular family or person?
Well, you know me, I pray a lot about everything, and it always seems like, though, when I bring the cat, it's always the right cat.
The right cat.
You know, even though I mix them up, you know, when I go, look at him, he's just loving you. Kiki.
I've always thought, I don't know, hospitals, the children's, like over at UMass, they have a whole children's hospital within it. And I've always thought, I don't know if they're funny about animals. A dog can come in, but why can't a kitty?
Yeah. It's just, you know, it's always been complicated getting cats in because, of course, I'm the only person in the world that works with cats.
Well, you could put him in scrubs. It would be a riot. Kids would love it.
I've actually had 17 comfort cats that I've worked with. My first one I had when I was 10 years old. I had a little cat that went with me everywhere. And I've been doing this before anybody even thought of emotional support animals.
You were a natural at a young age. You already knew.
Yeah.
That was going to be your destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if I've ever said this on your show, but my grandmother was a folk doctor. She was kind of famous in the city. She was a gypsy, and I'm only 50% gypsy. I'm not 100%.
What's the other half?
But French.
All right. I am
And
too.
so, but the gypsies are very gifted with animals, and people don't realize that it was the gypsies that started the circus. And then there was a very famous gypsy trainer. His name was Gunther Gable Williams, and a lot of my methods are based on a book that he wrote about working with animals. And he was the first animal trainer in the world to voice train animals. And, you know, I don't know why people have such a hard time, you know, getting that animals have intelligence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that they think, and
We've got to wrap it up. She'll be back. She'll be back. And is there a limit on how far you're willing to travel?
I don't know. The furthest we ever went was Natick.
That's pretty good.
So
Yeah, you'll stay within New England, Massachusetts, local Rhode Island, maybe that type.
yeah, Rhode Island is really high.
So Kate brought Kiki today, 17 years young, and you feel that he has a bit of dementia. You'd never know it. He's this calm with other people too.
Sometimes though, you can't get rid of him.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, it's like he's like a Velcro cat.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what Ace is like. I've never seen an animal so, it almost seems abnormal, so emotionally attached to my husband. He is just, Paul can't go out the door. Next thing you know, Ace is howling. And God forbid we should go anywhere. I mean, it's well, we're going to say goodbye to Kate and Kiki. You're going to drive, Kiki, or did she drive? Let's go drive her home. Thanks for being with us.
Peace and purrs.
Yes. We'll see you next time. I'll be my guest.
a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.